Hello again, and welcome to another episode of the Buds Bustin' Balls podcast. We are the Buds. I am Bauer Tendo, Mike Bowerman. You can find me over on the YouTubes and other social media stuff. That cat in the background, you can't even see it. There's a cat in the background flipping out on my couch there.
I see the cat.
Yeah.
The cat has a gun. The cat has a gun! Mike, watch out!
She ain't gonna shoot me. I feed her. So she's like, I won't shoot you, but I see those other two jerks up on the screen. With me, who was just talking, is Celiac_Matt. Good old Matt. And below me is the bottom here today, Scott Stevens, Hero Omega Man. maybe one day he will be streamer. And you know what? I ain't busted any balls today, because today is a special episode for various reasons. So I'm just going to say these two guys are cool. They're pretty cool. They're cool enough that I would want to do a podcast and hang out with them and play games with them. And that says a lot.
Aww.
So they're cool. So we're going to do this. We're going to do this on a good note. That being said, what we're talking about today, and it's kind of cool because we're from all ends of the spectrum here. We're going to be talking about content creation. So, content creation, what is it? So, what we're talking about here, there's a lot of different ways of content creation, and it's really funny, and maybe I'll talk about this more later. I actually really like saying content creator or content creation is kind of the same way I feel about consumer and saying consumer. I actually really don't like either of those terms at all.
I'm glad you said that, because I rarely use the phrase content creator unless like I'm making a joke or something. And while
Yes.
technically, yes, that applies to me in some things that I'm doing, it just feels like a bad word. Like a bad phrase.
I'm not gonna lie. Anytime I see like somebody getting interviewed for anything, or just like anytime a title pops up, like what this person's position is, CEO, businessman, blah blah blah, content creator, and as soon as I like see the content creator, it's just like, all right. So what I have to say is really important, because I have a podcast with 500 membership subscription, which I guess our opinion's worth even less because we have like 200 or something like that. But anyway, but yes, I die a little bit. Up there, 85. Woo! All right, we're getting up there.
Oh, but we're gonna be talking about that later. Trust me.
I do die a little bit though when people like content creator. That's my job. And
what's worse, content creator or influencer?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay, you got me there. I'm glad that we're all in agreement on this, because I was literally, none of us talked about that before, and I said it, and I just saw both of your guys' body responses like, yes, and I'm like, okay, we're all on the same page. So what we're talking about, there are different. Let's change it from content creator, since this is our podcast. Damn it. So let's do I don't know, artist. Let's just say artist, right? Because you are creating stuff. Okay, that's what you're doing. So, there are various different mediums. You can make films, shows. You have art. Like there's so many. What we're talking about specifically today is more of the social, the online, artistic creation of stuff. Okay, the content creation. So we're talking about like Twitch, live streaming. Maybe you're doing that on YouTube stuff. All of that. So that's what we're talking about. And we're going to be talking about from our perspectives, because we put this podcast up almost every week. We were darn close to doing it every week, but then life kicked us all in the balls. So that's fun.
Not
Matt. Kicked Matt in the ball.
Not kick. Thank you. One, it did not kick me in the ball, singular, and two, nope. I'm just chilling. You guys are the ones dealing with crap right now. Well, and I am not jealous.
Maybe life did kick you, Matt, but it kicked you on the side where your ball is, so your left side. So you didn't even know
feel
what happened.
Anything.
Yeah, you were
it just bounced right off somehow.
Yeah, so like you're not really feeling it. So life did try, and it was like, screw you. I'm gonna go kick Scott again.
Maybe those eunuchs are onto something here.
Ooh.
Just saying.
Ooh. No thanks. Anyway, so let's talk about this. So we all come from different perspectives, and Matt, I want to start with you. So kind of explain what it is that, so like, what do you do? So like, what you _Matt, AKA Matt Worsham. What do you do? What are the things that you like to do to create stuff?
Yeah, from a content creator standpoint, I am a Twitch streamer first and foremost of anything creative that I do. And we're not talking about day jobs. We all have day jobs. We don't need to talk about that. No one cares. The fun bit is content creation. And I do consider myself a Twitch streamer. And I do think it's been going pretty good. And what I do is at least 3 times a week, 3 hours a stream. I play games mainly with people. They can jump into my Discord and we chat in VC, or I'll do some single player games. That's what I do. And I play a variety of games, and it's been pretty successful for me. And I have several thoughts on Twitch things, but that's to address your initial question there. That's where I am, an active, ongoing Twitch streamer, Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and I throw in some weekends and things like that. And it's a blast. I love it. That is my brief synopsis there for you.
Yeah. And then I'll go next because we'll put Scott last, and it's not because we don't like Scott, but there's a very specific reason.
Well,
well, thinking about it. So I used to do Twitch streaming stuff, and I did it I started back in 2014, 2015, 2016. I don't know. Time is relevant now. It was a while ago. I did do streaming. I recently stopped. I just decided it's done. I don't plan on ever coming back. I can't say that I never will because life has really taught me never say never. Literally, don't say that because things happen. So I'm largely just, my creative outlet is I do lots of things. I do lots of creative things, but specifically online social stuff. I'm doing YouTube. So that's kind of what I'm doing now, through all its faults, all its, all the good things, all the bad things. And I'm really digging it. And we'll get into this a little bit later, but since making that move over to YouTube and just really focusing on that, I have found really good success so far. I'm very happy with what I've been able to do, and I feel like I'm learning again. Like I'm not just like hitting a wall going, I don't know what to do or how to do this. I feel like I'm growing again, and I love that part of it. That was the best part of school. Everything else about school sucked. So that's where I'm at. Now, Scott, where are you at with content creation?
Not much further along than what I wanted to be about a year ago. So I have a very specific goal of content creation. If I wanted to just go and play whatever flavor of the month game there was, I probably would have been able to start a lot sooner. I more want to go and game or stream with a purpose. And that is to kind of advocate the preservation of obscure, but really fun, really big at their time video games. So in particular, the Sega Saturn. If you recall in previous episodes, the Sega Saturn was the very first video game console that I ever owned. My dad bought for me for my birthday when I was 7 or something like that. I went ahead and aged myself there. And you know what? There's a lot of dope-ass games on the Sega Saturn that you can't go and play on anything else. So the goal is to eventually, I have a couple broken Sega Saturns. And so step 1, find the time to repair said Sega Saturns. Step 2, figure out how to actually freaking stream. The sad thing is I have all the equipment. I probably sunk like $1,500 into equipment for it and haven't actually got around to it. Now, sadly, I must say that it will probably continue to be a bit until I can stream, just because my living situation is going to be changing for a little bit. Going to be moving back in with the folks for a few months to save up some cash now that my lease is ending at my apartment. And you know me, I like saying the salty language, and I don't think my parents would go and appreciate me cussing up a storm and being, flamboyant Scott in the living room. But yeah, I think in those 3 months, it's going to be really good for me. It's going to go and help me refocus, and I'm going to come back stronger than ever. And I wouldn't be very surprised at all if you see me getting into streaming a lot quicker, doing it this way than what I would have done if I just continued to live on my own. Probably would be another year, and I still wouldn't do anything. So I think the fire is going to get lit on me with this experience. We'll see.
I wonder if the fire is going to get lit while you're living there. because you're going to have your own room at the very least for however long you're going to be there, and at some point you're going to be like, I don't want to see my family. I'm going to go in this room. What am I going to do in this room?
Maybe
figure out some stream stuff. Maybe put together your Sega Saturn. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. And I mean, one of the things I am planning on doing is I'm going to hit the gym hard. Like I've already been hitting it hard the last week, since I started going back to it. The plan is to go like twice a day though, once I live with them, just because, wake up. Like my body's broken now. Like I wake up at 4 a.m. and
don't
it's
do
just
that. Don't do that.
Don't go twice a day.
Cardio. But see, I've done the research. Like session 1 will be in the morning before I go to work, and it's just cardio.
But I'm telling
just treadmill, and then session 2 at night will be weights.
I'm telling you,
I can do it.
I'm older than both of you, okay? And Matt is knowledgeable on this because of him and his wife. Don't do that. Don't do that. Do it all in one go, and then maybe like down the road when you've been working out, then maybe do that. Don't do that right now. You are going to hate life, and your body is going to hate you, not in a good way. Don't do that. Please don't do that, Scott.
That's a month from now. That's a month from now, all right? See, I got a month to go and get my body, ready for it. Anyway, back to the topic. What was the original question? That's right. That is my experience with streaming, with content creation. Not there yet? Definitely interested. And I know it's going to be kind of a narrow scope, but I'm okay with that. I'm not looking to go and get 1 million subscribers. If I can get a few people to go and appreciate these baller Sega Saturn games that I love growing up, then I would consider that, mission success.
I bet you get something. I bet you get a few folks. At the very least, siphon a few from Bauer and I here. We'll definitely send them your way. But I think you have some pretty decent success in your mind with your current goals pretty early. I want to talk about the gym thing again. Real quick. 1, get creatine. Like that's going to help.
I've been having it the last 3 sessions. It is a terrible experience because I guess there's multiple forms of it. I got one that's like the fish oil pills, and I have to take 5 of them, and just one, you can feel it like going down your throat.
You should get a powder mix.
That is, I dropped like $50 to go and get a big powder.
I didn't
from
know
Amazon,
that they had pill versions. Like back in high school when I did that rough shit for wrestling, I would get the cost. Let's talk about Costco again, since we talked about it earlier before the podcast. Like it was a tub like this big, and my dad would get it for me of creatine, and I just put that in smoothie or something in the morning, and then go do that. I didn't know they made pills. Yeah. That sounds awful.
Yeah, pill sounds awful in creatine. Also, the 2 workout thing. As long as it is a distinct split between actual weightlifting and cardio, that I think that's slightly more acceptable. That being said, the body does require rest days. Like it is a requirement. So don't like blast 7 days a week. Anywho, there's your PSA for everybody that's looking to. You got a story? You have a story already?
Not a story. I'm just saying that don't be surprised. 3 months from now, you see me on here. We're going to have to go back to video just for this. It's just like, here's the buds, and then you just see me, and I'm just.
I love it, man.
Well, why don't you flex for us right now? Just
there we go. We're gonna do.
Let's all do this. Let's all do this.
Young buck pose
too. So
I got long sleeves on, so you're not getting anything from me. But
yeah,
there you go.
I'm actually impressed with myself there too.
I'm not gonna lie. That was excruciatingly painful.
Flexing your muscles.
I was at the gym for like 2 hours before recording this, and that. I am very surprised how much pain I'm in now from just doing that.
So taking it, this is what I told you. Don't do tube right now anytime soon. Please don't. Because I was the same way. I was like doing it every day. I was out there doing it 40-ish minutes every day. And then finally one day my body was like, no. And I was like, I don't like this. I couldn't do anything.
I have a great idea. Scott is not going to be a Sega Saturn streamer. He is going to be a gym influencer.
Oh, yeah, baby.
He's going to film himself lifting weights, posting thirst traps. Going to be juicy.
It's really funny because I actually have like a plan. Plan 1,
to
lose the fat. Plan 1, lose the fat. Or part 1, lose the fat. Part 2, get cut. Part 3,
juicy.
Get into yoga. But then here's the thing. Then I'm going to start teaching yoga. And I already have a name for it. It's going to be called Broga. and it's going to be yoga for bros. And
and that's where the juice happens.
I really
see now. I made it sound weird.
I really want this
it was
to
weird
happen.
from inception, my dude. But I'm looking forward to your path to juicy, and nothing can change my mind. That is the path you're on. Scott's path to juicy.
The path begins now.
I will not accept anything less than Smash Brothers Brawl Snake Ass from you.
Please.
If you don't have that, you have not succeeded.
Do nothing but work out those glutes.
Okay.
We want that. That's all I want.
It's funny because I hate glutes. I hate working out glutes. That's like my legs, glutes. I hate it. But okay. Mike wants to see my butt look good. So let's do this. Challenge.
Listen, you already flashed us on a previous pod. So we know what we're working with here. All right. Let's actually talk about Twitch here. Here's a quick question for you guys. And Mike, not necessarily now, but when you were streaming, how much Twitch do you actually watch as here's another favorite word, a consumer? And I'll go first. The only time I watch Twitch, and I know it's a networking game and I suck at it. The only time I watch Twitch is during work days. When I am at home and I'm not super busy, I put on a stream while I'm working. That is literally it. Like, I have all these people that are really cool. They're really cool streamers. But if they're not streaming while I'm working, I'm like, I'm not watching your stuff, dude. And I know Twitch is a networking game. This is a proven fact. If you really, really want to grow, you got to go everywhere, raid everybody, promote everybody, make yourself known in multiple places. I don't have the energy at all for that. So I only watch during the day, and it's only a select streamers, and most of them are UK, Europe based because they're streaming while I'm working. Mike, I want to start with you. How much Twitch did you consume, like, ever while you're streaming, while you weren't a streamer? Like, how much were you actually like watching?
So fun story, and I think Matt has said this multiple times before in his streams. I was the first of all of us to dip my toes into this, and I thought Twitch streaming. I'm starting from the beginning because there's a reason for that. So I started watching Twitch, and I was like, why would I want to watch other people play games when I could just play games, right? And then it hit me why, because it gave you the feeling of being there with, like, it was like couch co-op games without having to be couch co-op, and without having to, maybe it was a game that you're interested in, but you didn't have the money for it, or you didn't have it, or you weren't interested in it, or you weren't interested in the gameplay, you were interested in certain things. And it started to hit me that it's the community, right? That's largely what it is. And then, so I started watching a lot, and maybe I'm telling on myself here, but when I first switched my career, I was building a lot of stuff. Now, I do a lot of training and things, and obviously I didn't watch it while I was training. But like on my days where I would just do building of systems, where I literally interacted with nobody but just building stuff, I would put it on in the background. I wouldn't sit there and just watch, but it was more listen. And I did a lot. Like when I first started streaming, I did a lot. Like you said, there was a lot of networking, a lot of stuff like that, learning things, figuring things out, getting people's opinions on things. I mean, because there wasn't a guide to be like, hey, this is how you plug this in. This is how you connect it. This is how you do that. It was just like, figure it out. And if you do it, cool. Good luck. And so I watched a ton. Nowadays, I watch a lot less. I'm very, very particular with who I watch. I'm going to do a couple shout outs here probably. But I do watch, there's this dude called That Sandwich Dude.
Yeah, that guy is so fun.
And it's kind of sad to see that, like, he's kind of like not plateaued, but like kind of like dropped off. But I think for him, he's appreciating it more. When I got into it, he was like exploding, but it was because every stream, if you rated his stream with at least one other person, he would create your own song. Like literally on the fly, he would type Chat GPT or whatever it was, type in this name and whatever, and then it would create the lyrics, and he would just create a song on the fly. Really cool. I think he rolled back on that stuff a lot more because he literally was not playing the games he was streaming at all. So, but he's super cool. He's a creative dude. I really like that. Like, he is a content creator, as much as I hate that word. Like, he is great at that stuff. Some recent ones, Laid Back Lou, which I got from you. That's one of your proper English friends, right?
He's Welsh.
Oh, yeah, he's Welsh. UK. Okay.
It's UK, but yeah.
Yeah, okay. So Anyway, so he's cool. He's really cool. And I got to shout out Zari. So I'll probably tag her in this just to let her know. She's super cool. Go check her out. She's rad. She does a lot of single player games, which I appreciate. I wish I could have done that more. I probably would have liked it more, but every time I did, nobody showed up. So I was like, well, I'll just play this by myself. So she's great. So those are basically the main ones. And then, sometimes I watch a jerk named Celiac_Matt out of obligation because he's my friend. Yeah. I'm like, I guess I should go over there and watch some of his shit. But I don't watch nearly as much now. When I first started, tons. Now it's like you said, like I'll be doing like if I have a day where I'm doing stuff that I don't interact with people, I'll just put it on my computer here next to me and just go. I don't really watch. I do a lot of listening, really.
And then Scott, are you gonna give me a butt kiss here?
So I'm basically what Mike said of like, why would I watch people play games when I could just play games? That's always been my thought on watching streamers. So I'm sorry, guys out there. I'm sorry for shitting on you streamers, not ever watching your stuff. I have watched to get free loot. That's, and even then I kind of just start to stream and then I just like walk away. If I am ever in the position though, where I'm able to like work at home more, yeah, I mean, there's only so much music and playlists you can listen to keep you engaged, and definitely open to maybe having something on the side, kind of what Matt was describing. But yeah, I don't have really much to say. Just, I prefer to play games, not watch games, which is kind of interesting saying that, because the whole reason I got into video games is I watched my cousins play video games for like probably 2 years before I ever picked up a controller and played myself. I had no urge to go and play them. Not like I didn't like them. It's just like I liked watching them play. I liked seeing them get wrecked. I liked seeing them go and beat the boss. It was fun to go and see that happen. And I didn't really, it's like, okay, I'm not interested in doing this myself, but watching them is fun and just interacting with them. And I think, this has only come together right now, literally with me. I think that's almost in a way like a prototype of watching streamers. Like, and I'm sure, I don't know if you guys have similar experiences watching older family members or friends playing video games. And it's like, I don't even have to play this game myself. I just enjoy, like Mike said, couch co-op without you actually having to play yourself. So, you know what? I could really see it in that type of way. I don't know if that's the same feeling you guys necessarily get by watching streamers, but I get it now that I think about it that way.
Well, I think too, you have to find. You sound like more like a niche streamer kind of guy, not like the Fortnite, like the person playing Fortnite, the person playing Helldivers, the person playing like you. You want. I would recommend looking for very specific things on Twitch, and I'm willing to bet it's there somewhere. So that's what I would recommend.
Twitch has everything. If you're looking for anything, someone somewhere is probably doing
go watch a hot tub stream, Scott.
Oh gosh. or since you're getting them juicy buns, you can be a hot tub streamer. So
wait. How about playing games while working out? Is this a thing?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
You just like bicep curls with one hand and then,
play Marvel Snap with the other.
There you go. You're going to be a Marvel Snap streamer.
You can.
There we go. Every episode, there has to be the Marvel Snap shout out.
Bro, I play Marvel Snap at the gym all the time. All right. I do want to talk about Twitch stuff before I move on to one other thing. And again, this is probably more Mike and me, but I had some questions. Like I'm curious, like the pros and the cons when you were streaming, and I'll just go, then we'll have Mike go. The pros for me for streaming is it justifies to me playing games that I otherwise would not have. And that's a combination of like, there's an audience for it, therefore it helps me justify the purchase. Or more recently, people keep giving me free stuff, which is fantastic. The last time I bought a video game was Resident Evil 4, and then I didn't buy a video game like prior or after that. Every new game I've gotten has been gifted to me by like Apex, by Chrome, DMS. I have a list on my channel of everyone that's gifted me stuff, so you can go check it out there if you're curious. So it justifies playing games that you otherwise would not have. It gives you a lot of free stuff. You get to try a lot of new games. It is interesting to get instant help as well, better for worse. Because like if I'm playing something like, for example, I've been streaming Minecraft recently, and I'm like, how do I do this? There's a chat full of people that can tell me exactly what to do. Just like, oh, cool. Whereas if there's a game like, Persona 5, for example, like we had new people come in towards the end of the game, like, did he do this? Did he do this? Does he do this? And it's just like, brah, let me play the game. So that's kind of like a for better for worse situation, but it is kind of nice to have that instant like feedback, like, what do you guys think? Should I do option A or B? Or how do I do XYZ? And people are there to kind of give you that feedback, which is super awesome. But there's also a lot of cool people. I've met a lot of people that like I would, even though I've never met most of them in real life, I guarantee if I showed up, we'd be like best buds. We'd be hanging out. And that's just been a lot of fun. And also money, not a lot of money, but I've gotten
It's better than
a
none.
lot more. Better than none. I've gotten a lot more than I ever expected, which is pretty cool. Nowhere near close to making this a full-time thing, but it's been fun. And those are some pros that have been really rad. I'm going to talk about the struggles. The struggles with Twitch is certain games are so viewer dependent that if the viewer is not there for it, it becomes a chore. And when something like streaming becomes a chore, the audience feels it, you feel it. It's just so draining. A recent example is there's a really fun game called King of the Castle where you need people there to participate in that game. And we've streamed it multiple times. We've had engagement every single time except the most recent one. And it's been a blast. But the most recent one, it was pretty short notice. And like we had 2, maybe 3 people that were ready to play because most people just lurk and hang out, which is fine. But like not having the audience there for a game that is so dependent on it's just like, oh, this sucks. Okay. I'm gonna go play Sea of Thieves. Like stuff like that is pretty challenging. Backseaters, as I mentioned earlier, can be a bit, and commitment can be hard if the game or the vibe ends up just not being there. I streamed all of Persona 5, all of it, which means I streamed this game every Tuesday for like a year and a half. And while I loved it, it was a great journey. I'm never doing that again because I was so committed to that game, to that bit, and I loved it. I generally had fun, but it was just like, I want to not play this.
It's been too long.
It's been too long. It's time to beat this game. And it helped that it was a lot of the stuff in that game was also gifted to me by Chrome. Thank you, Chrome, very much. Another struggle is the game that you want to play. And Mike, I think you're going to talk about this. The game that you want to play is not always the game people want to see. And I'm like, look at this great game. I'm having fun. Nobody cares. Whereas a game that like, I'm like, this is a fun game. Like Splatoon used to do very well for me. Overwatch used to do very well for me. But sometimes I'm just like, I'm done. I don't want to play this anymore. And here's the last struggle. I used to think I was a very good gamer. And that's because growing up, that's all I do is play games. Now so many people play games. Children, middle schoolers, high schoolers are so good at video games that I still think I'm an above average gamer. But put me in a game and put a camera on me, my skill just tanks because I'm so distracted from like trying to, put on the show, trying to actually do well at the game that there are some games that like, I am absolutely never going to stream this game because I would do so bad at it. And that's why games like Smash Brothers, which I've been historically very good at, I only play casual and free for all on stream. I'm like, I can't be sweaty anymore. I can't. I just can't do it because what skill I have left is just obliterated when the camera is on. And that is a struggle. Now, overall for me, the pros outweigh the cons. I love it. I'm going to keep doing it. I'm having a blast with it. I went a little longer than I thought I would. I do want to give it to Mike now. Mike, I want to know your thoughts about Twitch, your pros, your cons, anything you have to add to the mix. Take it from here, bud.
Yeah, I mean, largely what you said. It can be, the pros are, it can be exhilarating. It's cool meeting new people. It's cool finding those people, in other countries that just show up. And it could just be so entertaining and so engaging. But for me, the cons outweigh the pros. So you have to have a solid schedule. And on top of that, you have to do like anybody that is growing. So I guess the question you have to ask yourself, I'm streaming. Why am I streaming? Okay. So I asked that question to myself. I said, why am I streaming? Well, yes, I'm not looking to make this my job, but I do want to see growth. I don't know about you guys, but I am very, not action oriented. What's the word I'm looking? Goal oriented, hitting goals and hitting things, right? Like I like checklists and checking those things off. There's like a dopamine rush for me. I'm weird like that. And Twitch wasn't doing that. It did because everybody's doing it. And I hate to sound like this, but this is how I honestly feel. And this isn't I'm not thinking of anybody in particular. I'm not throwing shade here. Well, I am throwing a little shade, I guess. I see. I have been told, and I don't think I'm great. I don't think I was a great streamer at all. I really don't. I was told by multiple people, like, over the years, like, I don't know why you're not bigger. You're entertaining, you're funny, you play good games, you know, you do a good mix, you're variety, you're all over the place. I don't know why you're not bigger. And then I look and I see, like, I've watched these bigger streamers. I actually don't like watching bigger streamers for the most part. Some of them are exceptions. Like, I think your wife likes Dance Gaming. I like Dance Gaming. He's pretty big.
He's great. He's great.
Some of them are cool. But you see these big streamers and it's like, why are you so big? I don't understand. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. What favor did you do for somebody to get pushed to everybody else so that they just showed, like, what happened? And to me, that bothers me.
Fair. Real quick on that one. My thought when I see them is like, these guys are all copy and paste of each other. There is nothing unique from Famous Streamer 1 to Famous Streamer 2. Other than either A, they're just really good at the game, or B, like their setup looks the same, their alerts look the same, the way they talk is the same, and maybe that's why they're just repeating what is working. But I just feel there's not a lot of uniqueness or variety, which is why when someone like that sandwich dude shows up, you're like, heck yeah,
yes,
this guy is awesome. Or you have someone, a shout out to one of my favorite streamers, he's family friendly dude to a T, and I respect that, Nimsomniac. Great dude. The stuff he does with his bots and his production, insane, unique. I love it. Had to interject real quick. I'm sorry, Mike. Keep rolling with your thoughts.
That's fine. And I'm glad that you brought up Nim. I'm going to give a shout out to Nim too, because Nim is awesome. I watched Nim. I haven't watched a lot recently, but I watched a lot of Nim like a month or so back. He's cool, dude. But yeah, so like that's kind of the pros and cons for me. It's like I see that, and you have to do all. So anybody that is making it, anybody that's growing, you have to ask yourself that question: why am I doing this? I asked the question, I went, well, I'm not meeting anything of what I'm doing. So why am I doing this? I could just do it by myself and literally get the same results. It also, I don't know about you, Matt, but I feel a certain way. I don't mind sharing viewers, but I feel a certain way about, like, I want to build my community because it's me, not, oh, I got them from Matt. I got them from Zari. I got them from Nim. I got them, like, that's cool. And sometimes those people come over and they become like lifelong. Like, there are some people that happened and they're like lifelong, like, fans. Right. And there's something unique about that. It's really weird to me, but it's also super cool. Not weird in the sense of the people are weird, just like thinking about it. But in order to grow, in order to do this stuff, you need to stream. Like, I see everybody say you need to stream at least 3 days a week. And each stream needs to be at least 3 hours a day. That's the bare minimum. And I'm like, I can't do that, and I don't want to do that. So it's like, you know, again, ask yourself that question, why am I doing this? And I think the sweet spot, so you said it feels like a job. Twitch became like a second job to me that I wasn't getting really paid for that much. I got paid sometimes, but it was like a second job. I didn't want that. And my family didn't want that either. So the key is to find your little compartment, your niche, and find that sweet spot that works for you, that appeals to people, so people will show up, but you can see whatever returns you expect from it. And then those people watching see your reaction to those returns, whatever the returns may be, and it's just a constant cycle that keeps, like a snowball effect, right? And I didn't, you know, if I could have done it, if I could have grown, I would have just played single player games all the time. I would have never played a multiplayer game. But I'm not big, so it's not going to happen.
I feel that. I streamed Splatoon recently. Like, I had my little. Splatoon was historically like my biggest stream game, but it kind of slowed down and I pushed it out. I'm like, let's bring it back. And I'm just like, there's like nobody there. I'm just like, okay. All right. Used to be it. We'll figure something out. It's fine. I'm not mad about it. Scott, I know you are not a Twitch streamer. Anything like jump out to you that you might want to comment on, or thoughts as we kind of talk about the pros and cons of what we have seen from a Twitch streaming standpoint?
One thing that was always a concern for me if I start streaming, which granted, you know, it's a big if, and kind of what leads me to wanting to go and do like Sega Saturn things, is I'm always worried about getting to a point where I think it's a danger turning a hobby or a passion of yours into a career or a business, because I feel like the line is very thin, and I don't even think you know when you cross it until you've really crossed it, where it's like, I don't enjoy doing this. This is a chore. I'm just on a grind, on this routine. And I love video games. I haven't been able to play them as much recently as I like for various reasons, but I don't ever want to get to a point where I feel like this is work. Playing video games is work. Like, I don't know who the streamer was. Huge streamer. Maybe it was Ninja. I don't know. But I always remember a quote from him saying that, like, I spend my life thinking that every moment I'm not streaming is money I'm losing. You know, even if I'm playing a game, but I'm not streaming it, you know, that's money I could be making. Those are more subscribers I could be getting. So, and it's just like, that must be like really, really sad getting to a point where, like, you know, how removed you must be from the joy of gaming when you get to that point. It's kind of like the really saucy example, but like being a prostitute. Like, it's business. Maybe we'll cut this part out. But like, again, it's just kind of the same idea, you know, like, oh yeah, I get paid for sex. It means nothing to me anymore. And, you know, must suck when they go and settle down with somebody or find a intimate partner. And it's just like, well, how are you supposed to separate like something you enjoy from just the business? You probably can't, because it's been ruined at that point. I feel like the same thing with games. It's just like, I can't play by myself anymore. I just feel like I could be making money for this.
Yeah, they can't play by themselves anymore either. Yeah, let that one sit in. Video games are sex. You heard it from Scott directly.
I'm very impressed with how well of a point that was with that.
I know.
Okay. At first, I was like, all right, Scott, you got to go and really reel this in. You kind of threw out this crazy one right now. But I am proud of myself, too. I made it. I brought that home.
Also, for the viewers, the listeners out there, I got to know, what street corner are you on, Scott, so that we could send him your way?
He's not juicy enough yet.
Not yet. Well, no. I mean, I would need them before I get juicy, because once I get juicy, then I don't need them anymore.
Yeah. Noted.
So we need to know where you're at, what street corner you're on, so that we can send.
Pretty soon I don't have to pay.
Maybe that's your Twitch handle, Scott Street Corner.
I thought you were going to say pretty soon I don't have to pay. I mean, that'd be a solid handle.
That's a great handle. You can handle some business.
That's your bud plug for the day. That's your bud plug for the episode.
That's a good quote, because I find myself all the times like, I want to play this game, but would it be good on stream? Minecraft is a great example. And last night I was like, no, just play Minecraft with your wife, Matt. Just play Minecraft. Have fun. It doesn't have to be on camera. So that's a very good thought, I think, to kind of close up the Twitch thing. This next point, I definitely want Mike to take point on this conversation. I think it'd be cool to talk about content creation long form. I'm sure you got some thoughts on that one, Mike.
Yeah, so when we say long form, for the listener viewers out there that may not know, these are the longer videos. So, you know, not just a quick short TikTok or a YouTube short, but videos that, well, not all videos are like this, but videos that take time, effort, thought, you create them, and some long form are really long form, like 3 or 4 hours long. Some long form or longer form are 10 minutes, 15 minutes. You know, maybe a little bit shorter than that. But in recent years, I have really, really grown an affinity for long form. I watch a lot of YouTube, okay? And I say recently, I'm talking like 6 or 7 months, I've really started branching out and doing other things than just games on YouTube. So doing a lot of art videos, which I've been like on a watercolor kick, because I watched this one video and it blew my mind. I went, wait a second. I knew like 95% of it from my old school days when I was going to school for art. And then there was that 5% where I was like, wait a second. And it clicked, and I've just been like, yeah, let's do some more. All because of a YouTube video that was 10 minutes long. Informational videos, long form, like video essays, things like that. I really like that stuff. I do watch the stupid short videos, but you know, like TikTok. But we'll talk about that later. And I think they're great. I really do think they're great. The tricky thing with them is that, like, for me, so speaking from my personal experience creating longer form, these podcasts, right? They just go over to YouTube now because the effort that I put into them the juice wasn't worth the squeeze, if you will, for creating these videos and stuff like that.
Is that Scott's new handle?
But his would be the juice is worth the squeeze.
There it is. There it is.
You like it, the juice.
That's going to be your OnlyFans handle right there. And you're just going to take pictures of your butt while you're out on the street. That's your OnlyFans. Man, I just made you money, Scott. I just made you money.
You're making content for others. That's how good you are.
Content that nobody else can create, baby. So the long form stuff, you have to find this balance of something that works for you, that you really enjoy, that you're passionate about, but people are going to tune in and watch. Because the first rule that I've come across with any of this stuff is people don't care. So Matt, I wouldn't say that you are a caring person. You are. I'm not saying you don't care. How much Twitch do you've admitted this? How much Twitch do you watch? How many streamers do you watch?
Very few.
Yes.
Same
right?
applies to YouTube.
Yes. And that is not a knock on you. That's just, you only have so much time. And as you get older, depending on how old you are, listener, as you get older, you start to realize, so people always ask, like, Mike, how do you do this stuff? How do you play so many games while you build chicken coops and you hang out with your family and you go on trips to New York, which, by the way, I'm so excited for. We're going on a trip to New York here soon. Woo! Taking the kids finally across the country for the first time. That'll be cool. And then we're going to go overseas. But, like, how do you do all this stuff? And that's because I put hard limits on, okay, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm done with that thing. I'm done. I move on. So it's a time thing. As you get older, you realize I have so much time on this planet. I need to start cutting it up and doing the things that I want to do. So all that to be said is people don't care. So you have to make them care. Make them do it enough to click on your video, right? More than just a flashy thumbnail, more than just a name. If you're not big, you have to work 5 billion times harder. And finding that is really tough. And that's another reason why I've gotten into long form, is because I see all these long forms that are successful, and then I see long forms that aren't successful. And a lot of my longer forms are not successful. I'm learning. And it gives you time to, this is going to sound stupid and weird, but back in school, I hated writing out things. I hated essays. I hated reports. I hated writing for me. And somewhere along the way, I kind of like that. I kind of like writing a script. I kind of like writing those things out, those thoughts out, and going point A, point B, point C, which leads to my conclusion, so that you can talk to people, so that people can not just be like, haha. So, little shout out to the trolls in my more recent Zelda short that I made, just because I love Zelda. That's literally, I was just making a short little YouTube short for like, look, I love Zelda so much. It's great. Zelda's great. I really like Tears of the Kingdom. That's all it was. And people just have to just jump in and be like, the last 2 games were shit. This is wrong because and I'm like, you're telling me this thing that I love is wrong because why? I don't even give them the time of day most of the time. But I just find it funny that people don't care about what you say. They care about what they say. So if you can make them care in a long form, that's huge. You're going to be riding high. And I love long form for that, because you can form full thoughts, not just like throw out, regurgitate news or something. So that's why I like long form stuff.
I appreciate long form, and maybe this is the later onset adult ADHD that I didn't realize I had. I can't do long form. I can't even watch like a lot of like movies, or like, hey Matt, you should watch this on Netflix. I'm like, no. No, I'm not going to. If I have time, if I'm not streaming, I am playing my own games type thing. That's not a knock on long form, because long form, especially the high end stuff on YouTube, is very well done. And if you want to learn something, someone made a long video about it, and that's good. As far as creating long form content myself, the only long form that I've done is I would upload a Twitch stream to YouTube just to have a VOD place. And it hasn't been until recently that I started actually making a long form thing. When I say long form, I mean more than like 10 minutes. I've now uploaded 2 Minecraft videos. I took 2 3-hour streams and cut it down to like 30 to 40 minutes. I put it up there. They're doing okay, at least from my standpoint. Like, my YouTube channel was literally, here, hold this. And I went from here, hold this with 18 subscribers to here, hold this. And now here's some Minecraft and some YouTube shorts from Twitch that I think I'm at like 48 subscribers right now. So I went from 18 to 48 in a couple of months, which is like, all right, cool. Some people are gravitating towards that. And I see the benefit in long form. And I don't want to talk about short form just yet. We'll lead into that one. But long form, while I don't really like watching it, I did have some fun editing it and putting it out there. I actually did enjoy that. Given the most recent Minecraft edit, this is taking me so long to put this together. Why am I doing this? So there's a little bit of that going on with it. But I know you've had some success specifically with your shorts, but also some of your long form stuff, which I like that you take your long form stuff and then you actually turn it into a short as well. So you're covering both sides, which is super smart.
I think there's room for both, honestly. There's room for both. Both are very valid and good. Scott, do you have any thoughts on long form?
No.
Cool.
Fantastic.
Kind of figured that. So you mentioned short form. Let's talk about short form.
Let's do it.
Matt, let's start with you. Since we were talking about your YouTube channel, how have your shorts been doing on the YouTubes?
I think good. But with how many shorts people consume, be it reels on Instagram, TikToks, things like that, which oftentimes they're put on all the platforms by the individual creator. I think they've done pretty well. So what I've done is I've gone through my Twitch clips and they have an export to YouTube feature and they have a edit to YouTube shorts feature where you can actually edit your clips into a YouTube short format and just put it directly on Twitch. So I've done that a couple of times and some of them have done quite well. Like for me, for a channel that has 48 subscribers, I have a YouTube short that has I have one YouTube video short over 3,000 views and like 3 or 4 or 5 over 2,000 views. And then a few of them, like one's like 50, one's like 200. So there's some Twitch clips that I put up there. Some I custom edited as well. So I think they're doing well. I've gotten most of my recent subscribers have been from shorts than the long form Minecraft content.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd say it's doing well. Just, I don't understand how short form content works. Cause I just put something out there that says, hey, this was seen by 3,000 people. I'm like, what does that mean? Is that good?
And then your next video, you get like 100 people watch it.
Yeah, I don't know.
And it could be the same game, almost a similar clip. And
yeah,
I know. I get you.
It's crazy, but my Twitch clips are doing pretty well. But one I'm most proud of is a Minecraft one that I edited. It was an interaction I had with my wife, which I thought was really funny from a Minecraft stream, which I thought did pretty well. It is now my most liked thing ever. I have like 90 likes on something, which is like, okay, cool. It's more likes than I have subscribers. I'll take that. That's pretty cool. So I don't have much to add other than Twitch clips have done pretty good. The Minecraft one specifically has done pretty well. The one that has the most views is me being bad at Mario Kart. And there are people being like, this guy doesn't know how to play Mario Kart, or this guy should have hit the mushroom at that point. I'm just like, okie dokie.
That's why I'm not good at Mario Kart. I'm here to have fun, guys.
Thanks, guys. That is all I have to say about shorts is they do seem to be the gateway to the most success in our current content creation age. And I think you're going to agree with that, Mike.
Yes.
Okay.
So 100%. So I love, like I said before, I love short form as well. I love them both. I am probably migrating towards more a short form creator that does long form because I think there's importance for both. Okay. And options, we've all said this before with games and other things. Options are always good. So I'm trying to create options for people that show up to my channel. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but it doesn't matter. The option's there. And the beauty of YouTube that I've done recently is it doesn't interfere with my life. It doesn't interfere with my family. It doesn't feel like I could just sit and play a game. Every now and then I'll go, I should record this. I got the setup where I could literally push a button, it starts recording, and I'm just still enjoying the game. And then I stop recording and I move on with my life. No big deal. So it works for me. It because it doesn't feel like a job. It's just I'm doing this on top of stuff. I record stuff typically on Sundays, and then put stuff out throughout the week where I don't have to think about it. It takes me 5 minutes to go boop boop boop, upload it to TikTok, upload it to YouTube, and I'm done. And I think there's a stigma around shorts. for, like TikTok, YouTube Shorts, things like that. I think there's a stigma of like, oh, ADHD, oh, you can't, your attention span, which I get. So I agree with that to a certain point. But short form, I also think of it this way. When I took my speech class, which I actually just did a short on that recently this last week, when I took my speech class, there was a thing that they taught us about brevity and getting to the point. And there was this thing called landing the plane. And I think I might have used that multiple times around you before, Matt. Like, not for you, but like in other ways. Landing the plane. And short form requires me to get to my point in a more succinct way, and it challenges my editing skills to get this 2-minute recording down to 1 minute. And so I find challenge in that. I find that, like, how do I get my point across in a good way? And I think that's why I've kind of, I would like to say that I'm starting, I wouldn't say I've blown up, but at the beginning of January 2023, and then I didn't really do much all of 2023 with my YouTube, I had 76 subscribers. I am now at 285. Since December, the beginning of December is when I really started, like, I'm going to kind of really dip my toes in. December was like kind of. January is when I was like, this is fully what I'm doing now. I find fun in this. Is what I'm going to do. I think I've gained most of that in that small period of time. And a lot of it is from shorts. But what's cool is that, like, I create a short about I like to do these song analyses videos. I find that stuff fascinating. I love talking about it. I wish I could have done that on Twitch. Nobody would have shown up. That's the honest truth of it. And even on YouTube, it's a fight, right? My longer form videos don't do nearly as well. But what I do is I create that short. So I create the video, the long video. I have to use my editing skills to put this 10-minute video down to a 1-minute clip. And then I have to get my points out there, something that will capture somebody's attention, get a good thumbnail in there that I could use for it, and get my point across. And I find challenge in that. That's where I find the satisfaction. And so shorts are definitely the way to grow, big time. I mean, I'm looking, if I give you a little bit of the back end here, it says in the last 28 days, I've gained 83 subs in just the last 28 days. That's a rolling 28 days. That's not including the previous month. There was one top period of time where it said it was plus 90 something. And I'm like, this is cool. And seeing this stuff. And what's crazy to me, which, let me give you some statistics here. So this is the kind of stuff that I find fascinating. In the last 28 days, any guess as to how many views that I've gotten?
Oh, views?
Mm-hmm.
10,000.
Any guess, Scott? Scott's like, I have no reference.
69.
Nice.
Valuable right there. Valuable interaction. 48.6 thousand views.
Bruh.
How much watch time in hours have I gotten in the last 28 days? Watched, like, people watching my stuff in hours. How many hours do you think?
20,000. I just halved it. I don't know.
69,000.
Nice.
Oh, 69,000. No. So this was in hours. That is 339 hours watched on my YouTube channel in 28 days.
Mm-hmm.
So that's crazy to me. And I already told you about the subscribers. So I look at these things and it's so cool to see this stuff. And I'm seeing actual interactions now on YouTube. I'm seeing people talking about this stuff. And the coolest thing to me was when people see my shorts and then they respond and then I see them subscribe. Or they say, you got a sub, sir. Or they'll say, like, you know, like, hey, like, there was one that said, do you have a longer version of this video? And I'm like, why, yes, I do. It's right here. It's great. It's awesome. And if you're listening to this, watching this, I don't know if you are because you came in through the shorts. I appreciate you and I see you. You know who you are. You know who you are. And it's cool seeing that. So shorts is the way to go. I think long form is good for content and being creative, but shorts is your gateway drug, if you will. 100%. TikTok, YouTube Shorts, well, Instagram, not as much, but yeah, Instagram Reels, things like that. So, yeah.
Real quick, I made a note here going into this conversation about short. I think all of us, against our will, even if we didn't want to, are almost daily consuming Instagram Reels, TikToks, YouTube Shorts. Even if like we're never even on Twitter, they all end up there. That's a fact, right? Shorts are here to stay for a long time because they are forced upon you. So I guess this is the pro tip for content creators out there is, bro, that's all anyone cares about right now. So that's your avenue. Just start
Utilize
pimping those.
Mhm.
Utilize it. Scott, you have any thoughts at all about short form content versus long form? I know you don't watch a lot of Twitch. Are you watching short form at all?
No.
Dude,
Your whole spiel about we're all consuming short forms in one way or the other every day. I'm like, I'm not. Okay.
You sure? Are you on any form of social media daily?
I am a recluse.
Man, Scott is better than all of us in that regard.
I am.
Right.
I am Ron Swanson.
I mean, he's too busy trying to buy gold bars at Costco.
And I'm going to start burying them in my backyard.
Yeah, at different spots. Yep. It's going to start keeping bacon up above in the ceiling at work and, all that
I'm going to get into woodworking.
Yep.
Just don't forget where you buried your gold.
No promises.
Just make a note. So random kid 10 years from now is like, I'm digging in mommy's yard. What is this?
It's a gold bar.
It's Scott's gold.
It's one of those flamboyant swan gold bars, whatever you were calling it, the name of
and
it.
Then it starts like a new gold rush, but like just in that like housing track, like they found gold in that yard. Maybe there's gold in that guy's yard. And then Scott's just like, oh, whoops.
I better go figure it out before they do.
All right. I owned gold at one time. I remember now. That was a thing. Okay. Yeah.
Fantastic. All right, here's a question. What are the Buds plans moving forward as content creators or pseudo content creators? For me, I'll go first. Twitch is my priority, number one. If YouTube picks up with my Minecraft stuff on my shorts, cool. I use YouTube to try to get more people on Twitch. That's where my passion is. I have found the Twitch audience and the YouTube audience are not the same at all.
I would argue that they're completely different.
Just
like
so
completely different.
And the only crossover is like my Twitch people. I'm like, hey guys, go be nice and look at my YouTube stuff.
I see some of those views on your videos, and I'm like, send them my way, Matt. Send them to my long form, Matt. I'm working my ass off over here for 17 views, and you're getting 70. And I'm like,
well, all right. The first one got 70. The second one is sitting at 20. And that's usually how it works. So episode 1 Minecraft did pretty well too. That's how it works. That's how it works. But Twitch is still going to be my priority. Mike, I'm guessing YouTube is where you're going to put most of your focus.
Yeah, it fits my life, and I find enjoyment in it, and I'm seeing real-time returns, like what I expect. I don't expect to explode. I don't expect to be like to get the YouTube button. Look at my silver button. I'm not going to get that. I don't expect that, but the returns are there. I mean, like I said, up to 280. Even at the beginning of this conversation, Scott was like, well, we had like 200. I was like 285, sir. And he's like, wait, what? And I'm like, yeah, I've been working. I can't even say working my ass off. I am working my ass off, but it's not like I'm working, right? It doesn't feel like a second job. I'm putting thought and effort into it. That's what I'm doing because I like it. So that's where I'm going to be.
I like it. And Scott, I guess you kind of already told us your plans, but you want to repeat it or any other?
Yes.
Do you feel differently after hearing us talk this entire time?
Step 1, before I start working on my content creation, I'm going to start working on my life and making sure that doesn't really suck first. And then once my life doesn't suck, then I will go and make sure my content creation doesn't suck. So there you go. I think those are okay priorities, but there we go.
I'd agree.
They're good. They're good. All right, Mike, let's talk about something cool. I think maybe. I don't know. Segue us into the next bit.
Yeah. So this may be a little sudden, but it is what it is. We've talked about life being kind of a douchebag recently. And so what we're going to do, because we got a lot of life stuff coming up ahead of us, we're going to be going on a break. So the podcast is going on a break, just like we normally do between seasons and, business as usual. I can't tell you a date or when we'll be coming back, but we're just going to be taking a break. So this will be the last podcast we get for a while. That doesn't mean they disappear. You can still share this with everybody else. Maybe while we're on break, I saw a thing that said the most popular times for people to find new podcasts are in March, August, in December, I think. I think those are the 3. March was for sure one. So maybe we get random people showing up to the podcast and they're like, whoa, who are these guys? Oh no, they stopped. But we're going to be going on a little break. So yeah, so we'll be back. We're not planning on, it's done forever. It's just life stuff. So yeah, that's it for that. And that's kind of the conclusion that I wanted to end on was, content creation, your life comes first. As Scott way more eloquently put it, I'm going to take care of my stuff. I'm going to take care of me and my life first, and then I'll be a content creator. So that's what we're doing. We're stopping and just enjoying each other's company, as bad as that is. Enjoying each other's company, playing games together, and just chilling.
That's the key. The pod will come back, and we're still going to meet weekly to play games, just not record podcasts.
We're not creating anything. We're just living our best lives.
We're creating memories. Being bad at Fortnite. That's
Scott, not Scott.
Speak for yourself.
Yeah, not right. Scott. He's better.
Level 204. I mean,
oh my goodness, you went up more.
Well, I haven't got Fortnite.
I haven't played in like a week though.
He's gonna get back in. I played it. Lady Gaga.
Oh, so that's actually only in Fortnite Festival, which I'm not really vibing with. But I don't know. To get my Lady Gaga stuff, maybe I'll try forcing myself into it.
Yeah, you will.
That is fantastic. Well, I think Mike kind of did a conclusion for us there. That was content creation, I guess, from a viewer standpoint, a consumer standpoint. Any thoughts you have about it, let us know in the comments in our Discord, things like that. Even though we won't be doing a pod for a while, if you still want to ask us questions, by the way, we do have a link where you can ask questions and we'll address it. And we will get to that in just a second. But Mike, you already kind of promoted the brand, but you know what I think you should do again? Do you want to know
the brand? Talk about the
Promote
brand again?
The brand!
Do it again. Well, hey, we can actually be specific here. So, we may not be doing the podcast for a while, but you can find Celiac_Matt with that handle over on Twitch. Go check him out. Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and whatever other days randomly decides I'm going to play Snap or something. So go check him out on Twitch. You are watching this on my channel, or maybe you're watching this on the podcast channel. You can find me on YouTube, Bowertendo. I'm not gonna. I have no shame. Any views and any likes on my long form or my short form legitimately helps. I feel like I'm cracking the code with this thing. I feel like I'm getting success. And that's that really is a thing. That's why people always say, like and subscribe. I'm not going to do that in my videos like that. But I will say, like, hey, if you like this, like it, share it. So, same thing with Matt. That Twitch stuff. If you like it, share it with your best buds. And then Scott, encourage him so that he can do those Sega Saturn streams, because that does sound pretty cool. I'd probably be watching because I love Sega Saturn, which I still have mine.
That's a cool gimmick. I'm looking forward to what you end up doing with that, Scott. So we do have, for the last one for a while, a viewer question. So let's pause to play some cool music, shall we?
I heard you had a question. So many questions. Why don't you ask your question and the buds will bust an answer for you?
Let's ask a question. This is for Mike, specifically from I think it's Macij, M-A-Q-I-G.
Macij, I think.
Macij, thank you. I'm really bad.
Sorry if we're butchering that.
He says, and this is for you, Mike. Hey, I am one of those people that joined your podcast in the early days when you did well-written video game essays on your podcast.
Yes, the long form. Whee!
There you go. He says, I was a newish dad who started playing video games again, which is how I found you. I think when you were doing your second episode. I know you are past that content, but I loved it. I sent you a message after season 1 when you asked for feedback, but I can't remember in what form I sent. I checked back into your new Triple B podcast. I think you all have hit a good groove. I'm excited to hear you're playing Marvel Snap. I have 2 questions. 1, what are your collection levels? 2, what is your favorite variant? And we'll just shout out for him. I run a Twitter account.
I'm going to tag him
Snap
in this
Variants.
Too.
Do it, please.
Snap. Yeah, so on Twitter it's Snap Variants, and it's pretty cool. So to answer your question, so first of all, I never got that feedback. I don't know. I don't know where it went. So please, on Twitter, if you're listening still, tag me on Twitter, like DM me on Twitter. We are friends now. I started following you back. So do that. DM me the feedback, because I missed it. I don't know why it wasn't there. Number 2, I can't tell you how happy this made. Like when I read this, Matt was like, "Hey, you got a question from somebody?" It's like, "Oh, I did. Wow, that's a first." And I went, and when I saw that, I was like, it legitimately made me happy. I was like, this is what makes me like YouTube and like the podcast stuff and want to do this more. Now let's get to the question. My collection level actually might be a little higher now since when I wrote this out, but my collection level is 500. So I have not played nearly as much as Matt, but I'm a newer one. Okay. But my collection level is 500, and I have two favorites. Okay. So there's one that I do own, and there's one that I don't own, but I've seen it out there, the variants. The one that I do have is the Magneto variant. First of all, Magneto's baller as a card, as a character, and that variant is so dope. It's so cool. I really, really like that a lot. What I don't have that is so freaking cool to me is the Wrestling Venom variant. And when I saw this, I thought, this can't be a card. This can't be. And it is. And it is literally Venom with a ring in the corner of a ring holding up a title. Like, I was like, this is so many of my passions intersecting into one card that I can't not love this. So those are my favorites. Is the Magneto variant, that's what I own. The Wrestling Venom, which maybe one day I will get.
You will. There's a wrestling variant for Taskmaster and Warpath as well.
Warpath would be so... I use Warpath all the time.
Yeah,
Warpath would be dope.
That's fantastic. All right, I want to answer what my collection level is because it's embarrassing high, how much I played this game. Hey, I have a question for Scott. Putting him on the spot. I don't know if he's ready for it, but let's do it. Scott, do you have a rant for us today?
Oh, do I have a rant for you?
Look over there, he just doesn't care. He's going off on a crowd of people, throwing words in the air like he just don't care. He's yelling at all of us sheeple. It's a Scotty Borda Body rant. It's a Scotty Borda Body rant. It's a Scotty Borda Body rant. It's rant time.
Ready for it?
Lay it on me.
Ready for it?
I'm ready, baby.
Mm-hmm. It's going to have to last you a long time.
It's going to be
Maybe I'm going to go.
Sure.
Maybe I'm going to go in unexpected directions. You never know. Let me tell you something, potty maniacs. You know what really grinds my gears? Life. That's right. Life can really suck sometimes. It can really get you down. There's a saying I always like to go and say to all my friends and everybody that I feel like life is an RPG, and I have totally invested in the wrong skill trees, and now I'm totally screwed that I'm in the end game. And it really gets me down a lot. And I look like, why did I invest in like the STEM skill tree or, you know, the finance skill tree? No, I picked all these really shitty skills. But you know what game actually has started to make me feel a lot better because of it? Not the game itself, because it actually kind of pisses me off a lot. But that's Diablo 4. Now, wait. Now you I may be losing you, but hear me out. In Diablo, it is never too late to respec. You're like, you know what? I don't like these skills I have going. Let's respec it. Let's go down a different direction. And you can do that. And let's be honest. Yeah, maybe the first part of your life kind of sucked and you feel like you're in the, later years and it's like, oh, I've wasted all this time. Well, you know what? Nobody likes the first part of Diablo anyway. That's why they let you skip the campaign if you want and get straight to the end game. The end game is where you have all the fun. Like, think about all the RPGs. You go for the really shitty tutorial levels. It's like, oh my God, I can't wait to get through this. You have to get through all the different party members, and some of them may suck ass until you actually find the ones you like. That's kind of like friends. Yeah, maybe you don't talk to friends you had earlier in life, but they were the shitty mage or with only the, really crappy light magic and do the barriers. And now you got the badass necromancers and, warlocks on your team. So you know what? Life, you suck, but it is never too late to make you unsuck. So you know what? You can suck on that. Thank you, and God bless the United States of America.
That's a good rant to end on for the season. You can suck at life. Suck on that. That's a good reference. That Diablo 4 reference. Again, Matt or Scott, you're batting 1,000 with your similes here today. Like, it's kind of amazing. I would have never guessed a Diablo 4 life comparison and a content creation sex worker comparison. So, we're getting some good ones today. Well, hey, we're gonna wrap it up until we meet again. Just stay glued to things like Twitter. If you're not in our Discords, in one of our Discords, _Matt, Bauertendo, check them out. You should be able to check them on either of our Twitch streams there. I'm also on Twitter a lot less these days, but you can tag me on Twitter and I probably will respond. But yeah, come check us out there and we'll let you know when we're going to start the next season. Hope to see you on our respective channels, on our respective content creation. Come help some small content creators out, man. We're great. We think we're great. Maybe you think we're great too. So until next time, bye.